Hey people, it's Friday, and just gonna say hello and show a few more records, kind of an addendum to my last video where I was showing some heavy records. I hardly looked to show anything, and I still just cursorily grabbed a few more things. One reason why I was hesitant to do the metal, anything about metal, because I knew I would get the comments, what about, like a bunch of, no, I won't be like that, but no, I will. Kind of like kids, I don't know that. It's not an insult, it's not a diss, but it's like, that's how it comes off. What about, you know, it's like, and I already said in the video, it's like, I'm not specifically collecting metal, I'm not looking for metal, I like music. I'm not a know-it-all, but I do pay attention to music. I'm listening to Space-Time Continuum in the background. Some drum and bass sort of thing, but I wanted to show some more records I pulled. And I could have pulled more. I mean, it's like even as I'm sitting here, I'm realizing there's, oh, I forgot this, I forgot that. I don't even have a metal collection, but I know what I like. I can show you. So someone had mentioned that, let's start there. Let's start with someone who's saying, what about? Well, I'll do a what about, okay? So someone said, well, what about modern bands like Agalloch? Here we go. All right. Again, I'm poor. I don't have a job. Marrow of the Spirit is this one. If I was independently wealthy, I would be buying records of all types all the time. And Agalloch is very good. Someone asked about what about Boris? Well, the thing is, I love Boris, but I never think of the term metal when I think of Boris. You know, that's heavy rock to me. I got some Boris. Boris Rainbow with Michio Kurihara. Seen Boris twice. The other thing is, I'd like to say is, of course I don't expect you to, but people that are just discovering me, I have over 1,400 videos. I've been doing this for a while. A lot of times people, when ask me questions or make comments, I've already answered your question before you even found me. You know, and so, yeah. Boris Clatter with Merzbow. Got it autographed by the band. Merzbow and Boris. Boris with Ian Astbury of the Cult, BXL. Here's another Boris with 9 Days Wonder split. Here's again this is fantastic VCLT, Boris with Merzbow. Big old fat record set. I got some Boris. A few more Boris, because I do like Boris. Boris again with Merzbow. They do I Am the Walrus on here. Really nice looking splatter. I'll show this one. I don't feel like opening everything up. This one is a nice looking vinyl. That's some nice looking vinyl. And I like the tribute to Virgin Records with their Heavy logo, Heavy Records logo. I like that a lot. Boris, yeah, Boris is my kind of band because they do all kinds of things, you know, musically. Heavy rocks. And then what's Smile? Okay, all right. I just want to represent. Now, see, this isn't metal, but it's heavy. It's more punk with Melt Banana. Played with these guys, opened up for them last time they came to Omaha. See, that fits to me. And then what else did I pull? Anathema. You know, they used to be really heavy, now it's symphonic. I love what they're doing these days. Anathema. How about this band? Ancestors. They remind me of Pink Floyd a little bit, actually. Baroness, okay? okay? I don't have the ones on vinyl I really want, blue and red, but I have this one. And then I love Mastodon. Friends of mine down in Atlanta went to knew these guys. You know, they were high school bros. And this is signed. It was more VCLT. Thanks, John. I have more heavy records. I just, I don't think of it as a collection. The Hunter, Mastodon. I just know what I like. Mastodon from Divinations. Picture disc, 12-inch single. It's another wonderful artwork. Mastodon, great band. Then, of course, we have Tool. This is that fantastic picture disc version of this. I'll show one disc because I think this is pretty stunning with the artwork of Alex Gray. Just a few more heavy records for you. And like I say, I didn't even get into my boxes of Jethro Tull, Led Zeppelin, Cactus, all that old stuff. Torch. I like this band, Torch. They're kind of heavy. Are they considered metal? I just think they're good. Torch. Neanderthal. And then let's go to Japan. Zenigiba. Absolutely right, 1010 if you happen to see this. My brother over in France. Is it good? Okay, yeah. More Japanese madness. High Rise. Okay. And then when I think of metal, I think of Sun. Got a couple more. Altar with Boris. You can't quite see it, but Boris and Sun with Altar. And then this last one I'll show, Oracle. I try to be familiar. Like I said, if I had more money, I'd have more records. But I try to know what's going on. I'm not a know-it-all, but and it also has a lot to do with perception. Being of my age and being black, I deal with people, individuals, but a lot of people with perceptions. A lot of times people don't even realize that they have a perception of other people that they have. In other words, the idea that a person like me, of my color, age, whatever, would know this music and know it as well as I do, and love it as much as I do. I deal with this perception crap constantly, so it comes out a little bit sometimes in my delivery. A little bit of frustration and weariness with this perception. That somehow I have to, because I'm black, I'm gonna know less about certain things. That's how the perceptions come off to me. That's how comments sometimes and what people say to me, not necessarily here, yes, but even in real life, it happens a lot. For example, the James Hetfield, when I met him, I can't remember what tour it was, but Cliff Burton was still alive on bass, amazing, played an amazing ripping bass solo. Armored Saint opened. It wasn't in an auditorium. It was at a ballroom. So I'd played at that place where Metallica played quite a few times. So I was, what was the deal? I can't remember why I was in the parking lot leaving early or something, but I encountered James Hetfield standing outside of their tour bus, and I'm walking this way, but I see him, so I start to go this way, and I check it out, because I work psych. It's part of whom I am. I'm a people observer. As I walked to him and waved, his body language was, he stiffed up right away. He didn't jump back on the bus right away, but he eased back towards the door. And as I walked towards him, I waved like this. I said, hey, I just want to say hi. You know, I forget what else I said, but it was something to that effect. But he was very nervous. He responded back to me, but it was kind of like the response in so many words was, scary black guy, don't trust you, not used to having black, you know, black Metallica fans. Maybe he'd never met one before. I don't hold it against him. I've had this happen so many different ways, so many different times with people.